We now have some data with which we can evaluate what Donald Trump's tariffs, which are part of his trade war, have done to the economy. Remember, the whole point of putting tariffs on goods from other countries is to make those goods more expensive so that American people and businesses will buy local, as it were, switching to American goods from foreign goods. That's the idea. The problem is that we depend on cheap foreign stuff from countries like China much more than China depends on us. So when both countries tariff each other, which is what we've seen happen, our stuff gets more expensive while China gets stuff from other countries, to put it simply. This is a vast simplification, but we're just trying to get caught up so we can have today's conversation. The Federal Reserve, which is run, of course, by Donald Trump's Fed chairman, has put together a report. And what we learned from that report is that Donald Trump's tariffs led to job losses while at the same time increasing prices. Now, if you understand even a little bit about how tariffs work, this is not a surprise. From day one, we've been saying this is what's going to happen. But alas, a lot of Donald Trump supporters denied that this would happen. So this all started with steel and aluminum tariffs. It's grown to many more goods. The manufacturing sector has been the hardest hit for sure. We've seen agriculture affected. It has affected many, many industries. Now, the report does say, to be charitable, that this has been the effect so far. It's hypothetically conceivable that the impact will reverse in the longer term. So far, it has killed jobs and raised prices. Maybe at some point it will reverse. But of course, why would that happen is an obvious question. There's no coherent explanation for why the effect would reverse over the longer term. This is the problem with focusing on principles and ignoring the real world. And I've talked about this before. This is really important for the left to understand if we want to do well, although it applies to everybody. When the tariffs started, you had a lot of people who were speaking in theoretical economic terms. So a theoretical economic argument would be tariffs work because they make foreign goods more expensive. That leads to companies using American goods, which will stimulate our economy, and it'll be bad for China because we'll be pulling a whole bunch of business away from them and putting it into domestic businesses. We should protect our economy with tariffs would be the theoretical outcome or consequence or conclusion of that idea. It's a lovely theory if we're starting economies from scratch, but we're not. We have an economy in the United States that's based on cheap stuff from China. Manufacturing was moved to China years ago and other countries because it was decided implicitly. I don't mean you decided, but as a country, it was decided by our leaders that we value the cheap stuff from China more than we would be hurt by higher prices if we were to keep all manufacturing in the United States. Once that's in process, something like a tariff is not going to have the theoretical effect that an economics textbook would suggest. China has more alternatives for their stuff that they tariffed the United States on. Our economy is based on getting that cheap stuff from China. And so then obviously the result is what we're seeing. We are seeing job losses combined with higher prices. Even economics professors knew this early on, and they said the theoretical impact of a tariff is not the same as what the real world impact will be in 2019 United States and 2019 China if those two countries get into a trade war. This was coming a mile away, and it ends up being a tax on the middle class who can't afford to pay more for stuff in the context of stagnant wages and everything else that we've been discussing. So what's next? I don't know. We may see the way the administration has been running things. We may see even more tariffs. We will see what 2020 brings, but the results not at all surprising to anyone who's been paying attention. And reminder, this is the Federal Reserve chaired by Donald Trump's pick that has told us this is what is going on. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're surprised, quite frankly, because it seems as though our audience basically understood this. Remember that on January 1st, the blowout 2020 membership special will be available. If you want to be notified about it, it's really easy. Just go to davidpakman.com, sign up for our newsletter, and on January 1st, you'll get an email with an obscenely, disgustingly cheap membership offer. We'll take a quick break. Follow me on Twitter at @dpakman, and we'll be right back after this.